You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 220 of East Central's favorite podcast. Jeremiah Morrell here, joined by producer Zach Burcham, my forever co-host Dakota Davis. And Dakota, you can introduce our special guest.
Today's episode features Jesse Riddle once again.
He's taking a bow.
Mm-hmm. Jesse
taking some turns. He's probably going to mess up his headphones again because he's been struggling with them for hours.
Jesse is here to join us on the show to talk about The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald by Gordon Lightfoot.
As if there hasn't been enough of that.
But we're going to make it more metal.
We're going to talk about my sleeve tattoo and what goes into making a sleeve, because I think I was very impressed with the artist Zach Lowhorn that did this work and his creativity and everything that went into it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that at the front of the show. Then we're going to talk about some Henry County politics and news with the food and beverage money that Henry County has, and what are the plans for that and what we could see in the future. And then a very funny story where ESPN got duped into airing a football game with a fake team.
They were real.
They were there. They weren't ghosts, but not quite high school. Make sure you stick around to the end to hear what that is all about.
The show is about our lives in rural Indiana. We're here to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we'll provoke you. Other times we'll make you laugh. But hopefully you'll always learn something new. We had a very eventful Patreon segment that just wrapped up.
We did,
which led into music appreciation class from Dakota and Jesse, just jamming out between sets here as Zach was resetting the equipment to go live to the, as I call them in the Patreon, the freeloaders, you guys. And then it actually bled into the intro on the live stream.
Right.
You got some
a
remix of the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Good intro. If you want to know what the new memorabilia that we have on the table is about, we have the Edmund Fitzgerald paperweight. We've got I just took it off. Jeremiah gave me a hat. I've got it.
I mean, there was a promise of payment. I have the documents, but if you want to say, I
told you I could Venmo you, but as long as it was under $60. I feel like we should be okay.
It's fine.
It's also the last plant from the Edmund Fitzgerald. Is that correct, Jer?
Yeah, that was from the.
You got pulled up from the record.
That was
pretty awesome.
That was melted down with the coal that was carried aboard the ship, and they remelted some of the panels to make the paperweight. So it's pretty impressive.
I'm talking about the plant.
Oh, the plant. Yes. Plant, yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot. We have.
It's a plastic plant, so they took some of the oil out and refined the petroleum.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, that's how plastic's made.
No, I know that. I didn't know they did that with the Edmund Fitzgerald oil.
Oh yeah, it's a true story. Gordon Lightfoot sang all about it. And then we also have some salsa on the table.
That's why my tongue is numb.
Darren Lightfoot. His peppers.
Darren Jacobs.
Pepper. I know.
Darren Lightfoot and I agree.
It's not funny if you say his real name.
Okay. Darren Lightfoot and I agree that Sundown is a much better song than.
I'd never heard that song.
From Gordon Lightfoot?
From Gordon Lightfoot.
I only thought he had one song. So here's the other thing.
Carefree Highway.
Not to keep.
We've been on this for weeks.
I know, but here's the thing. Did you sing it in elementary school?
No.
See, we did. And that's how I fell in love with the song.
That's what you Kennard kids did?
Yeah. Like it was awesome.
Did you do it in November? Like there was on the date? Was it a thing?
No. We would just sing it.
Of November come early.
See? He loves it.
I love that song.
You're going to love Tear when I give you some Tear songs. Like T-Y with an accent, R. It's great.
Y with an accent,
I can tell you that from my experience on Lake Superior, that is not something to mess around with.
Yeah, you don't want to. That's why boats die there.
Yeah, where the shipwreck museum is, it's literally you go through the thing and it's like, this ship sank 4 miles away. It is where all of the winds come across the lake and they blow down to that little area, and it is literally like Tornado Alley in Oklahoma. Like it is just the place where ships go to die.
Yeah,
crazy.
We should probably build a boat, teach that lake a lesson. Is that all you got? And then boom, we're all dead.
Yep. Well, fellas, it's been good to know you.
I ain't got no chili for you.
We got to say thank you to John Phillips, Andy Moore Buick GMC.
It's too rough to feed you. That's what he says.
Christy Avery, our favorite up in Fort Wayne. She went to
recently her birthday.
Her birthday. Yep. And she just went out to Colorado.
Nice. She went 420ing.
The Libertarian Party had a
they had a 50th anniversary. Yeah, I saw. I guess you showed up, Justin Amash.
Yeah,
and some other people I follow over there that are not from Indiana.
Joe Jorgensen was out there. I saw that.
I don't follow her.
Nick
Justin Amash was there too.
I didn't hear that.
Hey, I heard Justin Amash went. Hey Zach, did you know Justin Amash went to Colorado?
I actually did. Yeah.
I was in his old
How come he knows
district.
everything, Jared? You just drop him lines.
I follow.
He's so plugged in. He's the most plugged in Libertarian Democrat we've ever seen.
Nice.
I'm Facebook friends with Chris Galt, who was there and posting all the pictures of all the people.
We also have Anthony Meyer, who is our personal trucking hero.
I'm kind of concerned that he's a noted liar at this point, but we'll see. He says he went to Duluth, but Duluth's a big town. He says he was further north.
He probably went to the Duluth Trading Company store, which is where I've been.
In Nobles.
That's pretty north. That's pretty north in Indiana.
Yeah.
You don't go past there. It's just barren seas.
It's north of 465.
Failed car company factories.
There's Nestle. God help us if we start
There's
talking
one of
about
those
Nestle.
Anderson, though.
I have some long
That's
underwear.
north of there.
I have some long underwear from Duluth.
They're not. Their clothes are.
It's the
their,
best.
Their clothes
I've
are
ever
awesome.
had.
Their flannels are pretty dope too.
And our guys at
We're
Fiddler's
all
Green.
sponsored by Duluth Trading Company. Go there. Go ahead and use my code.
We really
Boss
are
Hog.
sponsored by Fiddler's Green Cigar Company.
Boom.
Labor Day weekend,
Segue.
they've got the big setup out at the Dublin Pike Festival.
What an intro, boys! This show's not going to be
That
over
thing still
till
goes
11
on.
PM.
The Dublin Pike Festival still a thing?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's out
Farmer's
there.
Pike.
Farmer's
think-
Pike.
Farmer's Pike, Dublin Pike, whatever. It's the same thing.
It's the thing though. That's
It's
been
out
the
on
thing.
Dublin Pike. You head out towards Dublin Pike.
Yeah, it's been out there forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their sign nearly caused me to get into a car wreck yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I want to go right on red at the Casey's, and they put that sign in where you turn.
Sounds
and
like a you problem.
it's directly. Listen.
Why are you turning if you can't see?
I can normally see, and I couldn't see a car.
Couldn't see this time.
And then he turned around. He's like, "Yeah, it was nice to know you."
So anyway,
Anyways,
We also have T-chip stores.
check them out there at the
link tree.
Farmers Dublin Pike Festival.
We have a link tree on the Boss Hog of Liberty website, bosshogliberty.com, is where you can go to find that. That can take you to all of our merchandise stores. Great things, the most beautiful things. Masks are coming a thing again, so we're not taking the mask link down in case you are interested in that.
you guys have actually increased the number of masks you're selling, right?
Yeah, they're just flying out.
You guys got any ivermectin on there?
Not yet.
Yes, but you have to show a picture of your pony.
Listen,
Oh, I'll send a picture of my pony, bro.
I don't want to have to compete with Rural King.
Well, this is true.
They're good people. I don't want to have that awkward conversation.
I love that you can bring your horse into Roll King.
Yeah, and they'll give them a free,
Ivermectin. That's why me and two other people, we had them dressed up in like a Halloween horse outfit. And they're like, nah. And they're like, oh, nice boy. And they gave him some ivermectin, whatever the hell it's called.
Now
Joe Rogan's sick with ivermectin or whatever.
Yeah, he's high on it.
Yeah.
He and Elon were doing shots of it behind the studio.
He's got COVID
Joe
now.
Rogan did to get over COVID. Immediately started Z-Pack,
Which is what they give everybody.
ivermectin,
Almost everybody.
And a couple of actual COVID drugs, too.
wait, no.
I know. They're like the other things. And he's like,
Penicillin.
immediately it's gone. It's gone.
They
2
gave him
days later.
penicillin, the antibiotic. They gave him, did I already say ivermectin?
Yes. Well, I have.
They gave him monoclonal antibodies.
Yep.
They did
You said they did this. He bought these from some doctor that comes to his house. He's
they
rich
did
as shit.
an NAD drip
Yeah.
and then a standard vitamin IV drip.
Yeah. He pretty much got like the Trump cocktail. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And he's like, beat it in a day.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're rich, because you have.
It's like, I had one bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he literally took like 5 things.
Of
Two
course.
of them are pure studied, reported, viewed, perfect. They're those are the normal things that you take. And then he took his essential oils and cod liver beet juice,
And he's pushing
vinegar,
ivermectin.
and he's with big ivermectin now. Big ivermectin that Bayer sells.
I don't know. Good. Go for it. Please make your listeners sick so I can stop listening to them. That's all I'm asking.
I don't care. Whatever.
It
It sounds like ivermectin has helped some people.
Listen, the rumor
But
I
there's
heard.
studies that say that
The rumor I heard.
9-point-something% of people live. Of course, when they take it and it didn't make them sick and they got over it, they're like, ivermectin fixed it. They could have said they went shitting 3 times a day. They were like, that's what fixed it.
Listen,
It's not what
the
fixed
rumor I heard is that some of these Joe Rogan listeners are so nervous that they're running out and getting COVID shots like this week.
I'm so nervous about what?
About Joe getting sick that they're gonna go get the shot themselves.
Well, that's cool. That's awesome.
So, I mean,
whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes.
I'm getting a shot tomorrow because
I forgot you said this
because
is part
Hi-Fi in Indy is requiring it now for
of,
concerts.
Where are you going to go see?
Coulter Wall on September 19th.
Are you
So I'm
gonna?
like, I
you
guess
got
I'll
to get in there quick.
I'm like, I guess I'll get the J&J.
You're gonna get the Johnson & Johnson.
That's
so
the
you're
one I
done
was
quick and early.
Gonna get anyway because it's a more traditional vaccine.
Yeah. You don't want to become a mutant like the rest of us.
Listen, man, I don't even
Have you seen me
take
after-
headache medicine.
I felt-
Drugs kind of freak me out.
I don't like
So,
to take drugs either, man. But you love.
Why would anybody
You just
do-
got ink injected in you.
Have you
That's not
decided
FDA
which-
certified.
Why would anybody do drugs when they could just mow a lawn?
Have
Right.
you have you
I don't know.
decided have you decided which arm you're getting the shot in? Can they give you a shot in a recently tattooed arm?
See one.
Are there any concerns?
You should probably look into this.
I have one that's not recently tattooed, so even if it is a problem, then it's not a problem for me.
If you can also just ask for it in your butt, and they'll do that.
Just bend over.
It's not true.
Boy, that
I
would
have
be an
to pull my
uncomfortable.
pants down. Can they go through the jeans?
They'll go through the jeans.
Okay, cool.
Just wear,
You gotta wear your dad
hat.
jeans.
Wear that shirt and that hat. They're gonna be like, this guy really, and then be like, I have to bring my little paperweight too.
Yeah, just
They-
hold it.
Be like,
and then-
it's a what is it called for dogs that people have that keeps them from like
Oh,
being
the
sad
thunder
or whatever.
shirts or whatever.
Dogs that people bring everywhere because like, no, it keeps me fucking
Oh, the
from not
emotional
being
support
sad.
dogs.
It's my emotional support.
Yeah,
Whenever
it's my
they-
emotional support
Whenever they
paperweight. Get
jab
off
me,
of it.
go. Just hold it up to my eye.
Edmund Fitzgerald, they did it to me.
Listen, this is the only way I can go see the Gordon
And you're
Lightfoot
just
concert.
holding it. You're just holding the Edmund Fitzgerald paperweight. You're like, I feel so much better now.
I'm looking at Zach just shaking his head, going, "This show has taken a turn in the last month."
Well, it's 7:50. It's
I'm
not
sorry.
8 o'clock.
I know. I'm sorry,
All right,
Mrs. Zach.
we'll hammer out the first part really fast.
Zach's
This is only
mother
gonna
is
take like 10
very
minutes.
excited that Dakota is finally getting his Fauci ouchie, and he's conforming.
Nice.
She says it's great.
Are people yelling
great
at you,
news.
Zach? Tell them to come fight me.
Well, it's not. No, nobody.
I know,
yelled
I
at
know,
me.
I know.
It's been a rule since before I was here.
Oh.
You have to talk to Kirsten. That's
Kirsten?
I believe it was.
Yeah, it's Kirsten.
Is that like
Kirsten
white,
Cross and
is that like
Cross,
White Rose? Like,
kids would
Don't
watch
you
it.
start picking on our patrons.
I'm not. How much she paying? I'll be
Kirsten-
doubled.
Kirsten
She
Cronk
pays $200
has
a
got-
month.
She's got
We're
children.
going to have to find some more patrons. That's not going
You
to
drive a Lincoln.
Yeah, that's why I
The
can't
man-
give you guys $200 a month.
The man who's brave enough to street park at Lincoln. Oh no, that's
That's too much. Well, that's this is why you can street park Lincolns when you spend your money wisely. I would say
I
anyways.
got a feeling Corgi's going to come by and piss on that thing tonight.
potentially may, or his owner may. We'll see what happens.
Jesse's picking fights in Nightstown.
All right.
All right, let me see this sleeve. Roll that beautiful Edmund Fitzgerald shirt up. Let's show this off to the camera.
You need to go over into the camera and give like a really
Yeah.
Listen, if they want to go see it,
Time-
obviously
Time for the gun show,
the
Dakota.
vast majority of our listeners don't even
Still
watch
can't
the video.
Believe that you got
So
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson on it. It's just the wildest thing.
if you want to see it, then go to my Facebook page. I wasn't actually going to post it today because I kind of I didn't know if I wanted to post it because Zach didn't take pictures of it when we were doing it.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, Zach probably wants to wait until we're closer to being finished till he shows off his product. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, well, I'm going to talk about it on the show.
What's your arm?
I knew I was going to talk about it on the show, so I'm like, I might as well post
I mean,
pictures
this-
of it.
so there's
that
more of it to be
listeners
done?
Can look at it.
He's still got
There's
more
a
color
lot.
to do, a lot more detail.
For this sleeve, there's more. Where are you putting it?
well, there's that whole inside.
Oh, damn. Look at that. Virgin skin.
Here's the thing that I wanted to talk
Sorry,
about.
Zach.
Here's the thing I wanted to talk about with Zach at Underdogs.
Or
I went in there.
Where's
I told
Kirsten?
him, I'm like, I want Memento Mori themed. I want kind of like some Roman. I want it to be like Roman-esque with the bigger stone because there's a mask of Marcus Aurelius that is bronze, and it's.
Does he mean a lot to you? Because we talked about it a little bit in the group chat
read
today.
all of his books,
and you're
So
like,
he read,
I was like, he married his cousin, and
He
you're
was
like,
also his stepsister.
yeah.
Well, that's what they did back in the day.
Believe it or not, that's actually like doing pretty well for that.
Yeah,
time
that's not
frame.
that bad,
There's a
but-
lot of just straight up brother sister.
There's some
mother-
persecution of
Especially if
Christians
you're like-
going on in there too.
Was the Romans the ones where they would just like have orgies anyways?
That's
Those are the Greeks, I
Oh,
believe.
well, I would definitely be I'm rooting for the Greeks, bro. Get Greeks on the other arm.
Marcus Aurelius.
I don't think the Greeks were not all.
Was
I mean,
not as much of the Christian persecuted time because he was like in year one, like 162. I want to say year 162 of our Lord. 162.
What are you saying?
He was
he
asking.
lived in
that-
around the
yeah,
year 162.
Okay.
A.D. The year of our Lord.
Anno Domini.
162.
Okay.
Yeah.
After death. So now you explain. So what else is on the
That's not
sleeve?
what it means,
You've got
but-
the.
So we did that. There's what I was saying was there's the bronze mask of him, but they've only found it's like a cutout piece. It's like that. So I wanted that shape, but I also don't really like the way that bronze cast looks because his face, like he looks kind of weak in it. But there's another bust that he has where he's kind of got this stern look on his face. I'm like, I like that one a lot more. So with that face, with in the shape of that mask,
Right.
because that's more iconic. And then he also commissioned building of basically a part of a Colosseum. So I'm like, I want some pillars from that time period. He actually came up with I was like, I want the pillars, and he's like making sure that he is doing the pillars that are actually time period correct. So he's doing the research of like, what did the pillars look like then? I want to make sure that it's correct to the actual time period. He did the same thing because I wanted a memento mori theme, which is like where the rose comes in.
Can you tell us
you
what
got
that is?
a full moon up there too. Is that the moon?
No,
What's
that's
the
just
top?
a spot.
Yeah. It just didn't get filled.
That's going to be later. That's where the Japanese flag goes.
Memento mori it means remember death.
Okay, that's correct. Yeah. Okay,
And,
that's why it sounds familiar.
So, but there's a famous painting from the 1500s.
It looks like a sundial.
in Italy. Yeah, that's what it is. There's a famous painting in 1500s Italy where it's a memento mori style painting. It kind of kicked off the whole era, where it's an hourglass, a skull,
Yep.
and a rose,
yeah.
sitting on a desk.
Super familiar with that piece.
Yeah. So it's like when someone says memento mori art, they think of those three things: some kind of life, something that symbolizes time, and then the skull. And he's like, well, since we're doing everything else like Romanesque, I don't want to put a clock on there. So then he came with the sundial. He did the research and made sure that this style of sundial was the kind that they would have used in ancient Rome. And then on the bottom part, and then I told him, like, I want the word good somewhere in there because there's a speech that was done by Jocko Willink, and the speech is called Good, and I really like that speech a whole lot, so I asked to have that put in somewhere. He did like a stone tablet that has it etched in there, and it kind of has like the cracks and stuff in it.
Did he do it in English or in like Roman?
So these are Roman characters, but obviously good is not spelled the same way
Correct.
in Latin. They're Latin characters.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But obviously this isn't good in Latin. It's just the characters for G, O, and D.
And then you still have your original tattoo that's
Yeah,
been
and that's
incorporated
still
on the
there.
backside.
And
Which is the spider?
yeah, and then I have a tarantula. The tarantula comes from the novel Thus Spoke Zarathustra from Friedrich Nietzsche. And he talks
Nietzsche
about
or Nietzsche?
Nietzsche.
Is that-
I think I've heard it pronounced both.
I hear Nietzsche all the time, so
I know
that's why I was
Jordan
like, but we're talking about the same person.
I believe
Yeah.
it's pronounced
Okay.
niche.
Jordan Peterson pronounces
That's not what-
pronounces it Nietzsche,
Nietzsche. Okay.
and he's like one of the only people. Him and like my philosophy professor,
The only one
Ivy
he
Tech.
trusts.
Right, say Nietzsche.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
they both said Nietzsche. So, yeah. Anyway,
Sure.
so yeah, he talks about tarantulas in that book. He uses them as a metaphor. He calls people that yearn, that preach for only equality and generosity. He calls them tarantulas because on the inside they do it to only bolster their own egos.
Sure.
So yeah, I thought that was cool. I've always thought that line was cool, so I wanted that on there because the whole rest of the thing is philosophy themed. So that's what I came to him with. I'm like, I want the Marcus Aurelius bust. I want it to look like Roman, maybe pillar somewhere. I want rose and with skull. I want the word good. I want a tarantula and memento mori theme. And then like I go there for the first day, and he's like, yeah, we got like that on half of it. We want like on the rest though. So like. I was just really, really impressed with how he was able to take all those ideas and kind of compress them into.
And he got it into one side.
Yeah, to
What a
make
good
it
businessman.
to where it looks like it's.
Yeah.
I compressed everything into one side
Yeah.
and come back again.
Well, we already had more dates scheduled, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Obviously, we
That's
don't
good
have
work,
a skull
though. I
on
like
this
it.
page.
I also appreciate it's not fucking traditional. Sorry again, Zach.
It's 758. So I mean, what I'm looking at is that the top,
I'm just
the
gonna
top
start
part of
donating
the part of the
a
shoulder
money.
is just pure black. That is so much ink work.
It's not pure black.
Nearly,
There's
it's almost solid.
No, it's
supposed to
not.
be even more in this part, like in between the pillars.
It's just shadowing.
be more.
That's just how you. That's how you shadow. Like how you. What's the word I'm looking for? Why can't I use the right words all of a sudden? Shade.
I mean, it's shaded in, but at least from the photograph here, it looks.
Well, he
like,
used a lot of contrast on that photo
Yeah.
so that it shows up. But that's not how it looks over here.
Okay, well, I don't have that view.
I know. Well,
It's black. I've got
mean,
the
it's
picture
still-
right here, dumbass.
It's still black.
It's 8:00.
The worst part is the elbow. I've had some ink fall out of the elbow for sure.
You find it in the shower.
I mean, that's not Zach's fault. It's because the next day I had to go.
where's Zach's shop?
I had to work by Papa John's.
Oh, here in town.
Yeah.
That's outside Newcastle.
And anyway, I had to go to work the next day. I had to work the whole weekend, and it was actually overnight work. So I worked for about 13 hours, and I had to have a long sleeve shirt on the whole time. And I really
Did a number on it.
rubbed my elbow basically the whole time.
Are you supposed to cover it in like plastic?
Usually you have to put some like
We do.
keep it
Vaseline
hydrated.
and
Keep
some
it
plastic
hydrated.
over
So
it.
like the other tattoos that I've had by Zach, he uses a thing called Sanoderm or Second Skin, and it's a breathable film. So it's a like a clear bandage that you put on that looks like saran wrap, but it allows the tattoo to breathe but not allow water to pass through or fluid to come out. So you get all the healing properties from your plasma that seeps to the surface because it keeps it towards the surface, and it doesn't allow pathogens or anything in the air to land on the tattoo. Or if you get in the shower, no foreign water gets in and washes all that good stuff away. That's why, like, I've never had a tattoo heal like my thigh ever before. Like there was no scabbing, and
You don't have any
there's
scabbing on this either, do you?
it's all fallen off now, but it was really bad.
Oh, okay. How long
there's-
have you had this?
It was done last
It was
Thursday.
1 week today.
It's like
And-
pretty
he
quick healing.
did it. He scheduled it on Thursday, so then I'm like, hell with it. I'm going to Michigan.
Yep.
We were made dark anyway, so it worked out.
I have a couple other scarring spots, but once again, that's just from the freaking long sleeve shirt. But,
Yeah, well, anyways, it looks good. And, I appreciate people who get tattoos that have meanings. And I'm glad it's not traditional because I hate traditional tattoos.
I just don't know where you're going to put the barbed wire.
do you mean traditional or neo-traditional? Or
Both.
what are you saying?
Just bored of them.
I like the neo-traditional style.
It's just overdone. It's like
I
pop
wouldn't
music.
do sleeves in that way.
Right. It's
I
just
like
pop
them.
music to me.
I like a black and gray realism style.
Yeah.
Sleeve for sure. But like my thigh piece, that's neo-traditional style. And like I love it for pieces like that.
Yeah.
Like just the little things.
What are you going to do when you run out of body room?
I don't know. Maybe I'll tattoo my
Let's
eyelids.
say take it slow. Take it slow. Because you're going to change. How old are you?
25.
Yeah. 35. You're going to be a
Yeah.
different human being.
This has been
Like, and
Well,
you're
this
gonna,
one's
you're
been
gonna
in
have
the
more
works
crap
for-
you want to put on yourself that it means something. So,
this one's been in the works for a couple years now.
oh, I know.
So it's like I feel comfortable there.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying like I'm
then,
not going
like-
to say you're going to regret it. I'm saying
Yeah.
that take your time because I see some people just load themselves up with ink at 25, and I'm like, bruh, you may not, you may
some
want
room.
either you'll want more or you'll be like, I wish I didn't waste that space for that.
I kind of have that feeling about my shoulder right now. The first tattoo I got praying hands with a rosary on my shoulder blade because
Yeah, and
it's
you're
like
no
an
longer
iconic
Catholic?
piece of art. That's why I got it. Like not because I'm Catholic, but that's an iconic piece of artwork.
Sure.
Praying hands with the rosary.
He's a
I thought,
Quaker.
that's cool. And then
Mixed cabinets.
But now, like, as I've gotten
He also
older,
has. I also had him tattoo on. This is a podcast. The very first podcast joke is on him. It's the "Thou shalt not." It's the scripture where you're not supposed to tattoo yourself.
Oh yeah, I have a Zach. Also, when Zach was an apprentice,
You keep pointing at your.
He read it as joke.
I'm pointing at my
genitals.
ankle right now.
Okay.
When Zach was an apprentice, Zach Lohorn, the guy that
Sure.
did my sleeve, I had him tattoo Leviticus 9.
Where did he apprentice at?
Underdog.
Same
That's where
place.
he works now.
Okay.
I had him tattoo Leviticus 19:28 around my ankle, which is the Bible verse that says, "Nor shall you tattoo marks upon your body."
Mhm.
So I thought that was
That's
fun.
pretty fine.
Yeah,
It's just shit posting.
I like it. That's a good one.
that was pretty good.
Once again, I dreamt it up. That's the
Yeah,
nearest
it was,
thing to me having
it
a
was
tattoo.
Jeremiah's idea,
Yeah.
and I was like, I have to do that. That's so funny. Actually, we went camping one time, and a guy asked me what that meant. He's an older guy, and
Just tell him to look it up.
I don't know.
That's what
I'd
you
be
should have
like-
done. Be
I'd
like,
be
get
like,
your Bible
if
out
it
and check.
concerns you,
I
get your
don't know
Bible
if
out
I
and
should
look it
say
up.
this on here. We're friends on Facebook. I don't want to rail on him too much, but he's like, "What does that mean?" And I was like,
I'll rail on him.
and I said, I was like, it says, "Oh, you shall not tattoo marks upon your body, nor shall you tattoo marks upon your body." And he goes, "So it says not to do it, and that's what you decide to do?"
Amen, brother.
I was like, I just kind of was like, ha, ha.
I'm glad you're still with me. That is exactly what happened.
It was pretty funny. I thought that was really awkward.
Now you know what.
But now it's
Hey,
fun.
you know what
irony's
the next.
fun.
You know what the next step is?
What?
Tattoo a QR code next to it to the website that has the
Yeah.
Bible verse. So you can just
Yeah.
scan it with your phone, man.
No, do that and then put the one from Revelations or whatever about the beast and the 666
Yeah.
and the mark of the beast. Like put that on there.
QR code with it.
The QR code isn't Mark of the Beast.
Yeah.
That's why it's hilarious.
But anyway, what I was saying about the praying hands on my back was that now that I've gotten bigger tattoos, more tattoos, I think like, I wish I kind of had done that because it would be sweet to one day have just a huge, like the famous painting War of Ages, where it's got the Archangel Michael and he's like stabbing this dragon through the throat. Like, could you imagine like having that whole thing, like your whole back is just that boom? Like
You just
that
have a
whole piece.
lot of
Abstract art and
what's not, but
literature.
it's all like
it's all
religious based.
Yeah.
A lot of well, in
Dude,
this
religious
isn't, but
art is some of like the best artwork in the entire world. Like the old cathedrals, Michelangelo's paintings, like some of the best art in the world. has
I'm
come
not
from
saying it's not.
Christian
I'm just saying there's a lot. There.
icons.
but it doesn't mean anything. It's not about your life.
No,
It's
it's
about
just a
those dudes'
sweet
lives.
piece of art. I
Well,
think it's really cool.
tattoos don't have to. That's the thing. That's why I don't have them because I'm like I don't understand it. I don't
I
understand.
can't commit
it.
enough
Just
to
nice.
it.
Exactly. I don't. My mind
I-
changes like
yeah.
14 times a day. I'm like,
I
I wish I didn't get a donut on my leg because I no longer like donuts.
There are two things that I would get at this point, and
Which I don't
I've
like
not
donuts.
done it. Is the Morrell family
Family
crest
crest.
and the IMS wing and wheel.
Yeah.
Instead, I'll just put it on the wall behind us in the podcast.
You
and
could
it's
just
fine.
get like an oval, and it'd just be like the IMS, and you're like, there you go. It'd be like a party dog.
I'm kind of it doesn't surprise me as much that you don't have the Morrell family crest as much as it does that you don't have the wing and wheels.
So
Because I feel like you can think, well, Danny has the Morrell family crest, so I don't want to get it too. But like with the wing and wheels, I feel like you'd be into
you
that.
could do something real white trashy and get the crest and embed the wing and wheels with it.
Zach.
This is my Morrell
This is the family crest.
Zach, when are we going for our family, our friend tattoos?
Well, see, the wing and wheel. The interesting thing for that would be which era of wing and wheel.
All right, here's the deal.
Do the area you
If-
were born in.
If we got Doug Bowles to sit in on our tattoo, would you do it with me?
Who's Doug
Sit in.
Bowles? People need
Sit
to
in.
know these
Doug-
things.
to be there.
Doug Bowles is a fascinating guy. He's the president of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and he's just a fascinating guy.
I just don't know.
That's the only one I think I could probably would get would be some
I know.
IMS related. I don't know if I do I'd be real tempted on wing and wheel, and then some integration of a stylized version of the Pagoda.
Zach, do you have any ink?
No.
Or the Borg Warner Trophy. It's like Tony
I'm the only
Kanaan won
one
the Indy
here that
500,
does.
and he put his own Borg
He is a
Warner.
Yeah, the Borg Warner
on
is
him.
pretty good too.
I don't like it. I mean, I just don't like it. It's just I don't. Again, I can't
Sorry,
commit
you
to
can
it.
say you don't like it.
No, it's not
That's
that I
not
don't like
offensive
it.
to me.
What I don't like is the pop culture around it.
I didn't get tattoos for you, Jesse.
I know. That's what everybody tells me. And I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to say.
If I did, it would be somewhere where it wouldn't be seen normally.
I'm pulling up a picture for
Nice.
Dakota over here. Tony Kanaan won the 2013 Indy 500.
His tattoo is pretty amazing.
And he won the 2013 Indy 500, and he put the tattoo is the bricks, Indianapolis Motor Speedway bricks, and then it's the top of the Borg Warner trophy that his face is now on.
That's cool.
So
Can you rotate that for me?
He's in really good shape.
Yeah, he's
crazy.
Vin Diesel's little lookalike.
He's like a ball of muscle.
Can you command plus that, control plus that for a couple times so I can see it?
He's speaking IT again.
00110011001100011.
On the laptop, I have to find the plus. I have to.
It's up at the top of the number pad, bro.
Not on this one. Wow. I have to hit shift.
All right, I forgot that one's stupid.
It doesn't work.
That's fine. I'll look it up later.
I got it here.
I really won't, but
I got it.
I'm just not going to Google Tony Kanaan topless tattoos. And there went the Edmund Fitzgerald playing.
Oh my gosh, $5.
Yeah, that one looks pretty cool. I like that it's like a realism piece. I really dig realism. I don't really care about traditional, neo-traditional art. I understand. It's not that I don't like it. I just think it's like
it's very much the style currently.
It's what I would argue is like iHeartRadio tattoos. That's what my problem is. It's like everybody has them. Let's see some most new stuff. Like, and that's my problem with it. It's like when everybody wears like Abercrombie and Fitch. You're like, all right, cool. Wear something else.
Especially the thing like with a lot of neo-traditional tattoos that you see.
Yeah. Let's wear some American Eagle
they
people.
Are so
Old Navy up.
So much of it is the same. It's
Correct.
not just the same elements. It's not like, oh, this is just a style. It's like, oh no, this is literally the exact same bird that every other person
Correct.
has.
Yep. Same bird, same rose, same skull.
That's why I made my joke about the barbed wire. When I was in high school age, Zach, it'll be the same. You got the barbed wire tattoo around your bicep.
Yeah.
And you wore your puka shell.
And it's completely blown out. What they call like, I think it's blown out or bled out or whatever.
And then turned into like tribals.
Yeah. And then, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So tattoos
are
are faddish, right? Like they go through fads. And it,
in the 40s, you got your Popeye tattoo.
Right. which is kind of like where they've returned to. And I just hope that people understand when they're getting them, they're getting into a fad. And that's all I want. I'm just like, make sure you understand you're in a fad. That's all it is. Like, this isn't faddish to me. Like, there's no fad.
Black and gray realism.
10 years from now, we're going to completely forget about the Roman Empire. You're a sucker.
Yeah.
Either way, he could completely fall out of love with the ideas of Marcus Aurelius or whatever.
Yeah.
But he can look at it and be like, that's where tattoos are like how you grow.
It was an important chapter of my life.
Correct. And it's like, it's a bookmark.
To Jackson, I look at it, my dad's got a tattoo, right? To Jackson, in his eyes, it's going to be, those are my dad's tattoos. That's what my dad looks like, and that's what he's going to remember. My dad has a panther that he got on him that is a silly, picked it out of a book panther that doesn't look like a damn panther, but that's what he's had my entire life. My dad has a panther on him. He got it when he was in the Marine Corps. And that's what it means to me. Right? It's the same thing. So Jackson's going to grow up, and his dad's going to have this sleeve, and it's going to be a bunch of Roman stuff that means something to Dakota.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's move on. Because
we've been on this for like 30 minutes.
That was supposed to be like
I want to take a beer break.
Body art.
What's up next?
What'd you think of the porter?
It is really interesting.
Pretty good.
I thought that watching Zach do his work with me just saying like, these are the things that I like.
You can go get your beer if you want to.
I know, I'm listening.
I'm really impressed with the ability in this when Chad was on here and he talked about it. It's I just draw it up the night before and I show it to the guy and we go with it. I'm incredibly impressed at not the actual application of putting that on, the actual manual part of putting the tattoo on, but it's the design and integrating it together that's fascinating.
I showed up on Thursday and Zach's like, he was like, I'm pretty freaking tired. He's like, I was up till 5 a.m. designing this. I was like, what?
It's incredible to me. That's the part that I'm blown away by. It's not the actual mechanical putting the tattoo on. It's designing the thing that
you might think
blows me away.
The guys, it's like most tattoo shops will charge somewhere around like $150 to $200 an hour. And if you book like a full day session, then you'll get like a little bit of a break on that, like anything else. And it's like, you think that's a lot to charge per hour, But Zach was up till 5 a.m.
Yeah.
making sure that this was a design that he was going to be excited to do and that I was also going to be excited about.
Yeah,
with
so,
everything
so you're in the $1,200 to $1,800 range for a day's work.
Yeah, no, not that much.
It just depends, right, on the artist.
Yeah, it depends. I don't know. I've been friends with Zach since I was in high school. Maybe he gave me some kind of a deal. He didn't say he did. But
It's the same. It's about artists too. It's like how much, the more popular are, the more you can charge because you have it's supply and demand.
And like Zach is booking into like February.
Yeah.
Or March. Maybe.
Do you pay food and beverage tax on your tattoo?
I don't believe.
Is there sales tax? Is it just a service?
Is
there
there
sales
But
tax?
every night that I left there, or the 2 nights that I left there, I was freaking starving. So I know that I paid some food and beverage tax whenever I during the process of getting tattooed.
I'm going to guess that the power went off to that, Zach. If you follow the power cord back, your laptop died. I bet the power cord going to that is a problem, is your issue.
Well, it is. It was beeping.
Yeah.
And I tried to fix it.
It wasn't dead, actually. And then, like, randomly a couple times tonight, the screen has just started to flash on my remote monitor to my laptop.
But it was beeping. It was like, boop.
We'll solve that after. All right. Food and beverage. You pay 1% extra on all of your alcohol and carry-out food.
We pay a total of 8% on sales
there's
tax.
a 7% sales tax. There's a 1%
we don't do
extra.
9.
Marion County has a 2% tax.
Well,
because of
there's
the
one.
stadium.
Well, there's 1% for one thing and 1% for another.
Yeah, one's the stadium.
And we're not paying that yet. That was when you brought this up. I was like, "Are we paying another 1%? Like, did they raise it?" That was my question. So
We're not yet.
So Henry County has
don't
been
give them
collecting
ideas.
an extra 1% since 1987.
Correct.
We had Chris May on the show. He's the executive director.
Help me help you.
We are.
Wow, what a man.
We are buck knifing open.
That's a Civivi, sir, not a buck knife.
What is the? What are you drinking now?
They call this
Terrapin?
the Recree Tion Ale.
I'm a little bit
Recreational
concerned that I rolled back at some point and I caused. At this point, Dakota, what I'm thinking has happened is that I shorted out the cable that feeds the laptop that Zach has, and when I shorted that out, I think that caused the breaker over there to trip, and that's why we had the power outage during the Patreon. Can't guarantee it, but I'm guessing that was the root cause.
Sounds plausible.
That's my guess.
Henry County has $1.2 million in food and beverage tax funds.
So,
and we got to try to figure out how in the world we're going to spend this.
So this has been around since the 80s. They spent it on the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. We covered that with the Chris May episode. We then it sat there and didn't get touched for quite some time after they paid off the Hall of Fame, and it was used to cover Henry County's portion of bringing Ivy Tech to town and turning the old Chevy dealership into the state college. And then more time went by, and a lot of it was put into Memorial Park improvements, Saddle Club Park improvements, splash pad in Knightstown, some work in Middletown, some work in Louisville. It got spread around, and the most recent time it was put into a bunch of really smaller projects, not the big lasting major impact. So the conversation the county's getting ready to have is there is a board that was appointed, 9 members there. I think the county commissioners got 3. All of these different municipalities got an appointment. I think the city of Newcastle got 1 or 2. If the council got some appointments, the county council got some appointments. All these somehow you get to 9. I think Landon Dean is going to be on it. He's the friend of the show. He's going to be the president of the board, and he's Knightstown's appointment, I assume.
Well, I got to go down and massage his ankles.
Your neighbor.
I know he is. Literally.
So basically now you've got $1.2 million, and there's a period of time where it's getting ready to open up, and folks have the opportunity to apply for this money.
Yep.
Say, hey, I want, I would like to build a monument to myself, Jesse Riddle. I'd like to have it put on the square in Knightstown.
We will cut down the tree.
I think we can build it for $800,000, and I think it'll bring in tourism.
We can build it for $1,000.
So, this is the kind of thing you can do.
Build 8,000 of them.
8,000. It's public art. It's going to be public art, and people are going to come from miles around. But this is basically what's going to happen is that organizations will can apply, and the money's going to get doled out.
Yeah. So historically, am I speaking proper English?
Yeah, you are. Has there
always been a council committee, whatever you want to call it, to decide these things?
So in 1987, I didn't live here and I was 3 years old.
So you keep bringing that up. That's when we started it.
The infrastructure, this program has existed since that time. I can't speak to that point, but I can speak to about 2014, 2016 when this happened most recently. And yeah, there was a committee that divvied up the funds.
So my other question is, like, this happens every year?
No, it's a time to time. Basically, what happens is that it goes
into a pool.
Once they get to about this much money and they've paid off whatever they're going to do before, they'll come out for another round.
Okay.
So they'll save the money up for 3 or 4 years, and then they'll use it for grants.
I got you. Okay, this is all making sense now.
So they're always collecting it,
right?
And then it comes in, they spend it, and then once they give it a little more time, and then they can dole it out again.
So I want to know the opinion of the most level-headed and pragmatic person in the room, which would be Zach. What do you think would be a good use for some of this money, Zach?
I've got a perfect use for it, Zach, for you especially.
Well, I know that in the group chat, Jesse mentioned trail system.
Well, the NHRT.
For part of it.
So the NHRT, keep going with we'll go back to this. Sorry.
I generally find those to be a
low
good
cost
thing to attract people.
Yeah.
And they're really nice to have. And I know that they've got some out there that are like dirt and gravel.
That's all of the one in Henry County is dirt.
Well, we've got some paved over on this side of the county. Yeah. But
over where, Louisville?
No, the one that goes from the Y.
Oh, yeah, no. So
the Wilburite Trail.
So the NHRT trail is the trail that's supposed to connect like states. And almost every county, so Marion County, Hancock County, all have their trails going, right? And they're eventually going to connect to us. So the Pennsy Trail is going to connect to whatever the hell the trail is called out. It should be the Pennsy Trail, but maybe it's not. In Knightstown, and then feed itself all the way through Louisville and all the way into Wayne County. Now, everything in Greenfield is paved. Everything in Marion County, I believe, is paved. You get to Henry County, and it's like it's paved for like a good couple football fields, and then it's just dirt.
We are, as a county,
it's also in a flood zone for part of it.
So far behind on trails.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense because we have a lot of land.
And then I realize that there's people that have contributed or whatever, but there's the and I can't even think of the one that runs from along Highway 35.
Cardinal.
Yeah.
The Cardinal Greenway.
There's spots out there there's not 100 people that live within a mile of it. And it's paved with gorgeous bridges that nobody will ever see unless they're on the trail. And it's amazing. And you're like, how is this done out here? And nobody's out here.
Because it goes all the way from it goes between two cities.
Well, it's also poor marketing, right? So I think part of it is I've lived by this trail in Knightstown and knew it existed. I thought it was always dirt. So I'm like, I'm not going to go walk on a dirt trail. And then I got on it and they're like, oh, part of it's paved. And it's also not maintained they need to get on a gator or something and go through and trim it up some.
Well, now when you say
whoever the NHRT, there's a committee, there's an entire organization that's doing this.
Do you want to be a part of it?
No, I would. No,
they,
I don't have
them.
that kind of time.
Kirsten
the
NHRT brings up
people.
a good point in the chat. She
Who?
said, Kirsten Kronk,
Okay.
who we were talking about earlier.
Sorry, Kirsten?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Kirsten.
It's Jeremiah gets her name wrong. It's okay. You did good.
I'm still
Thanks
learning.
for asking. Very respectful of you, Jesse.
Right.
Anyway,
the
Kirsten
least
Kronk was in the chat. She brought up a good point and said, is the county council even going to pay attention to what the committee says?
Well, that's obviously another
We do
problem.
have a wild card county council at the moment. Who knows what they're going to do?
As long as it doesn't involve windmills or anything stupid like that.
Is there a Democrat on this committee? If so, they probably won't do anything that person never says. It's all simple two-party minded reasoning.
The last time that this happened, the committee's recommendations were followed. Yeah. Can't speak for what's going to happen this time, but the previous cycles.
It's a much different county council.
I think it would be dope to just get the trail done before Hancock County does and be like, just because we never do anything for them. It'd be good to brag about something. Be like, look, dude, we beat you. We got all of our trails done.
So your plan for the 1.2 million is to.
I don't think it would take that much money.
I think that
the trails are like not even 8 foot wide.
Asphalt's not cheap, man.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We're going to settle it right now. The Boss Hog of Liberty recommendation is the National Historic Road Trail to be completed and paved.
No, man, I want a monorail
through.
You could get so you can have an electric bike. You can't have motored bikes. I think e-bikes might classify as okay. You can ride your bike up and down it. It would be dope to have like. I think the idea of having a trail that you can go between like all the way to Greenfield and back to Nicetown. Is fucking awesome.
I was
Jesse,
blown away.
We're already sold.
I know.
I was blown away when in my recent journey to Michigan last week. Holland, Michigan is just covered in bike trails.
Yeah,
It
everywhere.
would be great.
Not sidewalks.
Awesome here.
Much like the path on the south
I'm
side
also
of Newcastle.
biased because I'm trying to have a business and I need people to do shit at Nicetown. So that's also a thing.
Why did you have to bring that up?
It's not technically legal.
Full disclosure.
Full
Jesse.
disclosure. I may or may not be eventually owning
it. I grew up in Dunreath and I know the trail that you're talking about.
Yeah, it would be cool.
It would be really
Does
neat.
it follow the old railroad tracks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the Dunreath County accident.
Yeah, so you go. So you go, and part of Nicetown. The other cool part is you go over a lot of Nicetown or over like a lot of Raysville.
Yeah, because of the bridge.
And yeah, so
it's really neat. I agree, Jesse. That's a good idea.
I think it's the best use of the money.
I didn't expect that from you.
And I just walked this the other day, the first time.
And when you see trails,
are you suffering from the error of recency?
No, that's like they always seem to be in areas where like people are invested in a town. Like it's
right.
Like people, Speedway has a pretty good little trail system that they're working on. But like when you see a trail system, like you walk in and like I'm a runner, so I'm looking for places to go to run or whatever. But you're always like, it makes a town more inviting.
Correct.
If you see a trail, like immediately it's like,
it attracts people with more money, more IQ, more everything.
But your trail, does it connect in any way? Or is there any plan? I know this will go east to west, essentially following the national road, and you have the trail that goes from Newcastle, eventually up to the Cardinal Greenway. Is there anything that will connect those two trails planned out?
I don't know if the NHRT does. I think their mission is to connect the old NHRT rail.
Right. I'm saying at some point, if you're doing this, then you've got to bring. But
they do have things that like spin off and go other directions. But I don't know what that is. Like their website's terrible. So some more money could go to fix that.
I'm always curious about the railroad bed that runs along Cherry Street in Newcastle. That's a spur. I always wonder, does it go farther south? And wonder about that being, if there's a run that used to go south of Newcastle along there, if that would eventually go down that far. But I'm not sure. I need to get on Google.
Cherry Street where? Where is it?
Cherry Street.
Sorry,
Cherrywood.
Cherry Street's by the park.
Yeah.
Or by the cemetery, sorry.
Yeah, Cherrywood, which is what runs, like, it's where they abandoned the railroad cars and tried to cut our town in half a few years ago.
Right.
But there's like that railroad bit ends right there. And so it's just empty. I wonder how far south that runs. But I wonder that too, is that like, you want to put some in some trail, but you want to connect the trails,
right? Eventually,
because then if you could connect some towns in in that county, and then connect to other trails that lead the county,
right?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I think. I guess my point though is there's this huge project. The NHRT thing is massive. It's a massive undertaking.
Joe Tompkins is in the chat. He's offering the information. That the state has a memo out on the cost of rail trails, and it's a little over $500,000 for a mile of an asphalt trail, converting them over. I think there's also what I mentioned.
It's about
earlier.
a mile. So half a mile, he said.
Yeah. So $1 million would cover 2 miles of your project if you spent it entirely upon that.
What the fuck are they doing with $1 million to put that is so wild.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's because it's already, so maybe that's for clearing. Is that is those numbers including
That's the
clearing?
rule of thumb that the state has.
I know, but this has already been cleared. It's already existing. The stone's laid.
1.2 miles.
I'm just saying, you can go. So I'm saying from where you are, when we walked the other day, we walked almost a mile, and that almost put us in Dunreath. No, sorry, it put us in Ogden. I correct myself.
Yeah.
Almost a mile is to Ogden, which obviously doesn't really help us. But the point is you could go the opposite direction, try to connect to Greenfield, which would be a much more beneficial way of connecting it for everybody, because you're going to connect to Greenfield to Hancock County and be
so that they can escape our community and pay taxes over there.
No, but
they're going to use this trail to go buy
already,
ice cream in Greenfield. They're going to go to their Custers and buy custard. I can see it. You're
not going to. There's no way to get to Culver's from the trail safely.
For Culver's, you'll go anywhere.
They might hit the mug, but they still have to cross 40.
Yeah, but just being able to go like from again a 15-mile for a bike runner or a bike rider is a pretty good bike ride. It's not even that much. And getting there, you could go to Greenfield, like grab some beers and some food and bike back or something. That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool.
It's also a good opportunity to set it up as like a matching deal with the community and say, hey, we're going to put up this much money.
Yeah, and
then like I know that the Wilbur Wright Trail, they take donations, and if you donate enough, you get a tree or a bench or something like that, and get the community involved and get somebody to donate some more money.
You said that's total cost. So
that's you would definitely get more out of it because that's probably including clearing, which you don't need. The base is already laid. They will need to lay a little bit more stone. There is some problems where it's in a flood zone. I wouldn't say it's in a flood zone, but it's flooding barely a little bit.
So we're going to see the process. Getting back to the global idea here, so I
was going to say, yeah. So the process. How do you submit ideas? Like that's what's important.
The EDC, the Economic Development Corporation, our friend Corey Murphy, they have put a section on their website where you can go and submit an application for your project idea to be heard by the committee. According to the Courier Times, we read that in there. Corey said that they were going to be doing that. And as long as it seems like a good idea, then it'll be put on the agenda to be heard by the committee. And then they are going to have some kind of a ranking system to weed out all the little ones and then come down to like a select handful that they will eventually vote on and then recommend to the county council. And then the county council will, as long as everything's okay, like decent, I would assume that the county council is probably just going to look at it and be like, okay, yeah, motion to, accept the recommendations from the
So there's a Google
committee.
form. If you go to growinhenry.com, you have until October 29th to apply. Eligible applicants include nonprofit organizations located in Henry County and local units of government. So that's who can apply.
So the NHRT could not apply because they're not a local government agency, like a government
potentially not, but you could have somebody, a local organization,
spin up
that
affiliate
could,
essentially.
Yeah,
there's a local trails group.
Yeah.
So
that could put it together.
Is it all through the county council? Because you said there's representatives on this committee from various parts, but it all goes through the county council?
The county council are the ones that are in charge of the money, so they have to approve the
expenditures once they have.
The other thing I have a question about that I don't understand right off the top of my head, are rivers, are they public land or are those private land? Like if a rivers crosses
are public land.
So like Big Blue River is a public river.
Yes.
So the other thing I would say is another thing that would be awesome is to try to expand our kayaking abilities and stuff like that to get people to come through.
Establishing some ends.
What clean it up? Like there's like crap in it. Like there's cars, there's down trees that need to be removed so that you don't have to like pick your boat up.
I thought that's what the Coast Guard was for.
The Blue River Coast Guard does that.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm just saying like that's another thing. I'm thinking about things to bring people here more so than like fixing crap that nobody cares about. I want to attract people. I want there to be reasons people come here. If you're going to spend it, at least, and you're going to spend my tax money, and like, especially the stuff I spend on food because I eat out a lot, not necessarily in Henry County, but then like you should, like, it would be, I think, using that money to, it's kind of like you get it, you collect it, you build stuff to bring more people money to spend more money on the tax money. So it just is like a rolling ball.
That's correct. That's at the Hall of Fame. When this started, the Hall of Fame is what the magnet that brings people in.
Right.
The Henry County Saddle Club has been a prominent recipient of it.
And the Hoosier,
and folks come in from all over the country. And the Hoosier Gym, I believe, got a new roof in the most recent deal.
Yeah.
Which is also it'd
be dope if they get get an air conditioner, but
I know they're planning an expansion at some point. They'd like to do an expansion of the skate park. And I wouldn't.
The skate park, Westwood?
The skate park.
Skate park
at Baker Park. And that draws, they had that, Pointer Brothers had their big event a couple weeks ago there.
We didn't know this existed.
You didn't know the skate park? That's
skate park.
Yeah. I was hearing escape park. I was like,
I'm going to be honest. The Morrell family pool probably needs a new liner in the next 3 years, and
Just throw a
it's
dog in
been
it.
known to bring people in
does.
from 8 or 9 states.
You need an economic impact study.
We sold out the Steve Alford All-American Inn. There was not a room to be had.
What else is there like that's cool? So the skate park. They're going to do an expansion on that.
I mean, I know they'd like to at some point, and that's something that
That's probably.
I live nearby,
sure
and it's
money will go
busy.
there.
Like
Yeah.
that is a busy.
But the question is,
Zach's
do those
interests
people
are competing with
go ahead?
Jesse's interests?
No, that's not. I'm just curious about the
He's
clientele.
trying to steal your trail from
No,
you.
I'm trying to say what type of clientele comes in and how much money are they spending on food and beverage, because that is how you collect this money.
198,000.
Are the skaters collecting? Like again, there needs to be like that's the other thing is like, who are you building for? Who's the customer? Right? The ideal customer is going to come into the county and they're going to not only use the thing, whatever this money goes towards, they're going to actually dump money back into the system so that we can build some more
gravel
crap.
trail costs $190,000 a mile.
It's already a gravel trail. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
I'm just saying, like,
I'll be
that cost
honest.
seems
A well-maintained gravel trail is pretty amazing because the Indianapolis, I think I mentioned on the show before, the Canal Towpath is one of my favorite places to run, like on Earth, and it's gravel, but it's like it's pounded down, and you're not going to roll your ankle on it. It's flat. Butler's cross-country team practices on it, and so if it's well-maintained,
that's the thing
I think
is
gravel can work. But
it washes out though. If you have a rain, it's going to wash out, and that's what's kind of happening
Not
with the trail over here.
necessarily. If it's well
Zach needs to go
compacted.
run. Zach, your mission is to go run before the next time I'm back on this show, and we talk about
if the gravel
how the
is
NHRT
laid,
trail is out here.
if the gravel is laid properly with the proper size stones in different layers, and then it's compacted with unwashed gravel.
Oh, I thought he was going to say whale jizz.
Now you want like an unwashed gravel, so it's got like it's got stuff
Some
that
grit to
keeps
it.
it compacted.
this is the same trail that runs
And-
through Louisville.
No,
Or
well,
near
it is, but it's
adjacent.
they're not
Louisville's
connected.
is a little bit nicer though.
Yeah, they're not
I
connected.
run that one.
Louisville
So
section's
so you
nice.
can come into Knightstown. You like Mexican food? You don't want to eat Mexican before you run, though.
No, that's
Mid-run.
start in Louisville.
Yeah, I was going to say, but they're not connected. That's what I'm saying. The Louisville Trail does not connect to Knightstown yet. So the Knightstown one goes from Knightstown to Ogden, and I think it might
It goes
connect.
to Dunreath.
I think it connects to Dunreath, and then it's done. And then they need to connect it from Dunreath to Louisville, I believe.
Trail talk.
Yeah. The other thing that's kind of cool but not related, I'm actually not going to go there. So let's continue.
So are you going to be contacting the local trails organization to make sure
I'm
that
gonna tell them to
they're
go-
working on your thing?
Yeah, I'm going to tell them to go put some crap in there because it's $1.2 million. It's going to go to something I don't want it to go to. Because I'm just like, you need something, and I would rather try to attract people with money. That's my problem. Like, we need
and do you
people
think
coming
the
and
big
dumping
money is
here.
going to come in for trails?
I think that people who run typically have money, especially if you're
and you think they're going to
driving
drive
run.
from Indianapolis or
Yes,
Carmel
I mean
to
he
Henry
says
County?
he runs in Indy.
Well, yeah, but Zach, why?
People that ride bicycles
Zach,
ride
do you
bikes
ride
everywhere.
Zach, why do you ride? Why do you ride? You're running Indy
where do I?
Why?
Because I'm there.
because
I'm camping at the racetrack.
there's a draw.
So here's the other thing. Okay, like
I think it needs to go to
Now I'll tell you
campgrounds.
the skate park.
Summit Lake needs doubled in size.
Yes, that'd be great.
that's a state park though.
The skate park at Baker Park does attract people from out of town, and I would be lying if I say I'm not shocked at the quality of the automobiles that these skate park kids are rolling in. Like there was a kid that rolled in the skate park and it was going to go in an Audi S5, which is a performance version of an Audi coupe.
I'm very
That was
familiar with
probably
this car.
6 figures new, and he probably paid like 30 or 40 for it, and he was at the skate park. And that's not uncommon to see like nice Audis and a bunch of import cars. It's a different clientele than were at the basketball courts before the skate park was there. And they chased off the kids at the basketball court who annoyed everybody. Like it moved the clientele of that part of the park up. So
I still think we need to put Twilight in
The movie?
the Twilight books in the time capsule. This is where we're at this point.
Well, is there a time capsule going on?
Are we ever
There
going
is
to
a
talk
time
about
capsule as well.
ESPN?
Yes.
Good God.
Hey, it's only 8:30.
Listen to Dakota demand. It's like 9 minutes past his bedtime.
Getting tired.
He's out of practice. He hasn't been here.
Hannah says she wishes she could have responded to this conversation through text. Like she's texting me and saying this. She's listening.
There's a chat room. She literally can comment.
Hannah,
in the
you
chat.
can get in the chat.
She's already commented once.
Oh, she did?
Yes.
Yeah, you should comment.
We're moving on.
She also just posted something on eBay, just so everybody knows.
What's she selling?
You guys want to look?
Yeah,
we're going live.
Let's see what she's selling.
So going to hate this.
Your girl Hannah.
It's not my girl.
Yeah,
she's not my girl.
Your squeeze.
She's not my squeeze.
She's selling something. Drum roll, please. Dakota says it's feet pics. I'm gonna go.
I can't do that long. That's
golf clubs.
Nope.
Shoes.
It's a planter.
A planter.
Like for plants.
Planter.
That's what I said. Planter.
Hard T.
You Hoosier.
Hard T.
A planter.
Planter.
Not a planner. Like a day planner. Oh, what are you doing on Tuesday? I'm planting.
She's selling a planter.
Is it by Mead? Who makes it? Who's the manufacturer?
Groove Box. $35 if you want to buy one.
Oh. How many are available?
Just one. It's terracotta.
How much do you think she spent on it?
I know that, but I will not release the information.
I recently purchased some.
Let's just say she might or may not have learned some few tricks from me.
Recently purchased a health supplement from
Ivermectin.
No, from a website and
JoeRogan.com.
No, it's called Gorilla Mind. But
Infowars.com.
This dude is selling this supplement. It's the best on the market by far, the most studied, scientifically researched, and I bought it. He sells it the capsules for $48 for $60. It's kind of expensive, and so I'm like,
it's like,
but it sells out like in a minute's time each time. And he just had another big drop. I got on there at 1 p.m. as soon as it went, and it was sold out by 104. So I was like, I'll make sure I buy 2 bottles.
Yep, resell that next one.
And now it is on eBay. And the cheapest I could find it on eBay was for $120.
You should sell it.
I want to sell it because
then you can buy it the next
stuff.
time.
Like
the next time, buy 3.
But what if it sells out before I get a chance to get on there?
Buy 3.
Okay.
I should have bought 10.
Exactly. Buy what you can afford and what they'll allow you.
Let's talk about ESPN. Talk about.
I was trying to keep us off this subject.
Sunday night, there was a nationally televised football game.
Okay.
Jeremiah doesn't let us skip anything.
From the Tom Benson. It's in the show notes. They pay for this. We have to talk about it.
What show notes?
The show notes that are in the Word document file that Dakota emailed me today. ESPN National Television. The Geico ESPN High School Football Kickoff Showcase. Game played at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, Canton, Ohio, where they just played the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame game. Top ranked, like top 5 team in the country out of Florida, named Florida's IMG Academy, the number 2 school in the country, beat the hell out of Ohio's Bishop Sycamore Academy, 58-0.
Nice.
ESPN's on the show, and they are doing their very best to try to broadcast. They're on the air. They're doing their very best to try to broadcast. They are handed rosters from the school just before the program, and it's like a half filled out, no numbers, just the names of kids. That's all they have to work with. So the 2 announcers are trying to fumble their way through. Arne Schroff and Tom Lugbin are trying to fumble their way through a 2.5-hour-long broadcast, having no idea who's playing quarterback, having no idea who the receivers are, having no idea who the running back is. Not a clue.
No. And they claim that they have Division I athletes.
Yes.
And that's how they got their way in.
Yeah. They talked their way into this. Apparently they played a game 2 days before in Pennsylvania. Yeah. Football, generally, you have a week off between games, right?
So I listened to this dude. He claimed to have played for Bishop Sycamore in the year 2019, the very first year that they started playing football.
Okay.
And he said that he had a guy come to his football game in Cincinnati, Ohio, and told him, son, I'm recruiting you for a football team. We are going to be the IMG of the Midwest.
Okay.
And he was like, I just need you and your
What does
mom.
IMG stand for?
I don't know. It's who these guys played in Florida. So
IMG 's
Ivermectin Men's Group.
Sure.
The IMG has been an extremely good high school football team for at least 5 years.
What state is one?
Florida.
Okay.
So they came up to this NFL quality field. NFL just played there.
IMG did.
IMG did. No, IMG did, and they played this Ohio team, Bishop Sycamore. Bishop Sycamore doesn't have a campus.
Nothing exists about them.
There's nothing real. There's barely a roster. Their players appear to be 19, 20, 21 years old. They're like junior college dropouts playing as high schoolers. Their coach, apparently, people figured out the coach has an arrest warrant out for him.
Multiple arrest warrants.
Why would they do this? Is there money involved?
There's money.
Yeah, I wonder if there's an appearance fee. Like if you can qualify for a game like that, you're getting paid to show up.
Yeah.
But
anyway, so this kid was saying in 2019, it was my sophomore year of high school, and he got drafted. He got
scouted. He was scouted.
Yeah, he was scouted to play for Bishop Sycamore, and him and his mom moved to Columbus, Ohio from Cincinnati. Not a short move.
A couple hours.
I mean, to uproot your whole family for a high school football career.
It's like moving from Fort Wayne to Indy.
Yeah. And he's like, he shows up the first day, and there is no campus. Like,
their official address is a guy's apartment.
Yeah. This was supposed to be like an Indiana school for the deaf, is how it was sold to him. Like a boarding school. No, it's supposed to be like a boarding school.
Private school.
Gotcha,
you go and live there. You play football. It's like a college experience, but you're a junior.
A preparatory academy.
Sure.
And he's like, we stayed in a hotel. The reason that the coach has arrest warrants is because he was writing the hotel bad checks, and we would just go to different hotels. He said most of the other guys on the team were 19 and 20 years old because they went and picked them up from the youth correctional facilities. They went and scouted the biggest guys possible from youth correctional facilities. The reason that I was there as a 17-year-old kid was so that I could go around with the coach and meet with all the other coaches.
And be the bait, the young kid.
Yeah, and be like, oh, this is our star running back. And it's like a 16-year-old. And that was the only reason he was there. And he said, I never once saw a textbook. I never heard anything about
nothing
testing.
About education. It entirely exists for football.
Yeah. He got zero education. He literally just played football. And they said that he said that they would travel around Ohio during like the preseason.
Their schedule said they were playing games at like 1 in the morning, 4 in the morning.
They would drive. They would play a game in the morning, and then they would drive to a different part of the state, and they would play a game that night.
It's just out of control, wild. And they BS their way into a national TV broadcast.
Yeah, I guess I don't. How much money is involved? I feel like it's just a lot of like money being spent. Like, I just don't get it. And also, why are the parents letting this happen? That's the other thing I don't understand. There's like, how many kids are on a football team? Like 24, 30? Like,
it's a great question. It's been unraveling all week. People are just blown away. Like, what the hell? It's just a lot of what the hells? Huh? What? No. What?
It's got to be a lot of money involved. Otherwise, I don't see why anyone's doing it. That, or this is a cult. This is the first football cult in history where they're like, yeah, our coach is.
I will say, I would guess that the reason the parents say yes, if there are parents involved, because they're 18, 19, 20 years old, is I will do anything to get my kid to the next level.
Yeah, but they're getting scammed, right?
When you get somebody, and maybe they're paying. Maybe the parents are paying for private school opportunity.
This kid said,
so maybe they're collecting checks from the parents.
They scammed and lied to me and my mama, is what he said.
Yeah,
his exact words.
That would be my expectation.
But did he tell his mama that he's not going to school? And then she'd be like, "Why the fuck are you there? Get out of there!
I'm here to practice."
I don't understand. Well, I'm just like, first off, how like as soon as you learn, you're like, this isn't going to be helpful getting into college, because like the college scouts aren't going to be like, well. we want to get this kid here, and like try to recruit him to come to some college, which is typically what happens.
They go,
right?
oh, wait, we've never heard of this school before.
Yeah, and they're going to try to go to the school and talk to all the people involved. They probably want to see the facility, and they're going to be like, this is a dude's apartment. He's got an Xbox 360. He doesn't even have the latest Xbox.
You should know the governor.
Oh my God, they're at Jeremiah's
the governor
house.
of Ohio is looking into this.
Of course he is.
He's going to handle it. Mike DeWine's got it. You'll have your answers shortly.
I mean, like, if nothing else, the guy managed to get those kids on ESPN. That's like, and you look it up. I've been trying to.
The Newcastle kids have been on ESPN,
but like the IMG Academy. IMG stands for International Marketing Group. That's a pure prep school for professional athletes. That's what you send your kid. It's a boarding school. So that's
right.
what they were playing.
Oh, I understand the idea.
Acre. So if you can get your kid to be even in the same game as a school that like can't,
but they got beat right by 58 points.
Pounded. Well, if they played a game 2 days before, about who knows if that actually happened. But they did a good job. If they got on ESPN and they played it in Canton, Ohio,
it just seems like there's not a lot of money to be had in this whole racket. That's my problem.
It's enough for somebody.
I get it.
I'm efforting.
I agree with you though, Zach, that is pretty good to get you on like national television and scam a massive organization, aka ESPN, who makes people pay $20 every month for their cable.
So IMG has a hard time finding opponents. So it sounds like they were happy to find somebody to play, which is a part of the issue.
So why would you go to IMG if they can't even play you? Like
they also Bishop Sycamore launched a GoFundMe about a couple weeks ago, trying to get $20,000 to fund their team. They got $140 before GoFundMe shut them down.
So very often, these major schools like IMG will write a check to the little school to get their ass kicked. And they have ranged often between $3,000 and $10,000 to the program to get paid. But there have been instances where they've paid as much as $32,000.
How much? So
the school
getting
might
an ass kick. Can we just throw together a team real quick and just make some
58-0.
money?
You're going to go lose 58-0 and make $30,000.
Then you looked in the.
So is he scamming IMG? Maybe
it's like So I'm trying to do some research. He's scamming a bunch of people because he's.
This is genius.
Some of the charges they're pinning is because he defaulted on $100,000.
You said he
loan.
only had a 360.
He probably does. He had a $100,000 loan that he took out to operate a Christians of Faith Academy. He also didn't pay a $100,000 hotel bill for football players in 2018.
$100,000 hotel.
So, yeah, the guy's probably like moving money around as he gets it, and
he's moving from town to town. He's like selling timeshares, man. He's just going from place to place before they catch up with him. And the scam made ESPN. He made the big time.
And there's like a different group. It was in one of the different stories that was in charge of producing the matchup. And I have a hunch that somebody there has lost their job for not doing any vetting whatsoever.
It's been really interesting though.
Roy Johnson, head coach, has been let go. That was the latest news. Is that
from IMG?
No, the Bishop Sycamore head coach. So the defensive line coach is actually the guy that owns the school.
Roy Johnson said, "Hello, my name is Joy Ronson. I'm saying that Roy Johnson has been fired."
Yeah.
We've
let him go.
Yeah, he doesn't work here anymore. Sorry.
It is very funny when a person who's like an obvious scam artist is successful to the extent that they're on national television with a hodgepodge team of people that he just recruited. I mean, that's the most interesting
the best part is they didn't have a roster. They're like, I don't know what anybody's number is.
My favorite part was the person that was interviewing I think it was ESPN that was interviewing the kid that I was listening to that played in 2019. They were like, why is this just now coming to the surface? Why haven't you told anybody about this in the past? And he's like, I've told everybody about this. You guys aired the game.
Zach, what were you saying before you're really interrupted by your hosts?
Well, just anytime that you see somebody, I'm trying to think of another good example where somebody scams their way to like the very top, and they duped everybody. They duped multiple people that should have known better. It's fascinating.
Madoff.
This seems to be not even. I'm trying to think like
L.W. Wright in NASCAR.
Yeah, you get
who started the 1982 Winston 500, got out of the car and was never seen again.
Yeah, so I think that's fascinating. Is that like ESPN's like the self-proclaimed sports authority, and they aired a game with a team that doesn't actually exist.
So so kind of tangentially related because it's in the news the same week is the woman going to trial over Theranos, right? Or is it Theranos? The blood company. Whatever her name is, I can't remember. She's like, "Hello, my name is Elizabeth," and you're like, because she thought that talking like a man made her sound like more believable. It sounds ridiculous, but she duped a bunch of people. Said, "Oh yeah, you're only gonna have to take like a diabetic's worth amount of blood to like go to all these labs," and every scientist was like, "No, you're not. That's not possible." There's no science that's going to support that. And they would like take money, send the money off to regular labs, and then return it back. And like just had people donating, investing tons and tons of money. She was basically
a drop shipper for lab work.
For labs.
Well, with a research department that wasn't going anywhere. Like it was, but yes, she was essentially taking. Somebody's paying this company. I feel like it's called Theranos, but I feel like that's not right.
It's something like that.
But
it's something weird.
But yeah,
like Skyrim video game name.
Yeah, and like she would just take like scrub money off the top to pay, and the research people are like, we can't make this happen. This isn't possible. Like, keep working on it. It's just like, yeah, I agree.
So what we've learned this week is not everybody has the best of intentions.
Had you sold it on it, like the words here, so I got to read my ripped paper. God damn it. ESPN aired a fake football game. That is not. You are the worst headline writer in the world, and we're going to work on this.
I have nothing to do with what's written on the page.
Okay.
But
had you said
I will take the bullets for Dakota because he's very sensitive.
Had you said some dude scammed ESPN and a bunch of people, I would have been like, oh, well, now I'm interested in this. I didn't know it was about a scam. There was nothing in here. The word scam doesn't even exist.
Well, if you'd answered my text on Monday, maybe we would have talked about it.
But anyway, I'm sorry, Dakota. We're going to have to take you to, what's it called? Writing.
You've learned nothing about clickbait, Dakota.
I shouldn't have to make clickbait to make a host interested in the show.
You need clickbait to get your guests interested. Or sorry, for your people to get interested. That's what I'm getting at. That way, when we tell Zach what to put on the video, it sounds way more interesting.
I'm scrolling up to see what I said this morning. When I said, here's the topics I have. Yeah. You guys tell me what you think. I'm scrolling. Dakota called me. Or Zach
copywriting. I was like, what is this called? My brain's just not.
I see Jesse called me a used car salesman.
Mm-hmm. Still is.
I wrote Shipwreck Museum, fake football team on ESPN, hurricane ? Food and beverage ? That was it.
Yep. You just need to work on this copywriting. You got to get me
the fake football because I had in a previous conversation I'd already dropped a link.
Yeah. If you would have said, dude scammed a bunch of people and made it to ESPN, I'm like, well, how the hell did he do that? Stay tuned for more info.
The cliffhanger begins.
Zach's still doing research over here.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to think. There was a funny situation. Listen to podcast. I'm not sure. Have you ever heard of George Lazenby?
Mm.
The first movie he was ever in, he played James Bond.
George Lazenby?
George Lazenby. He like just lied his way into being James Bond.
That's awesome.
And he did it like one time, and he said his agent told him that it was going to be an archaic franchise that wasn't going to go anywhere, so he turned down a 7-movie gig. But he had like no credits before that. He just said, "Oh yeah, I've acted before," and then oh cool, and he did one movie as James Bond. That was the first time he was ever in a movie. Yeah. And like that's a guy who just like that's fascinating to me. He lied his way into being one of the most famous acting roles in history. So those kind of things.
A lot of people do this for their job. They just don't go get more jobs.
Yeah, or they don't get on national television.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They don't have this is the problem. It's like they're like they don't have enough get and go to be like, look, I'm going to con myself into one job, and then most of them are like, fuck, I made it, and then they just coast for 30 years. And everybody has that employee. You're like, this person sucks. How have they been here for 30 years?
Well, I know that like a podcast thing that we like to listen to, Dinner with Racers, Jeremiah, they talk about almost everybody who's like a mechanic or something like that. They got their first job by lying about what they could or couldn't.
Yeah, everybody
he's like
overextends themselves just a little bit.
They're like, so you had no idea what you're doing. He's like, absolutely not. So you lied to get the job. He's like, absolutely. It's happened in like
that happened to me. That's what I'm saying. But you got to learn the skill once you get there. You can't.
The job. You and I very much had this conversation about when you got the job you have now. You're like, I have no idea.
No idea.
Completely unqualified.
Yeah, they're like, do you know something? Like, I know how computers work. Yeah. And then I took the time to learn more, and I tell people. So, and it came from my dad. All right, and which technically came from my grandfather. But he goes,
"Where's Danny to say something inappropriate?"
Hey,
right now?
You just lost your dad, didn't you? No, so
sorry about that, man.
It's fine. I walked by I went and said what's up to my dad today on a walk after I almost kicked the shit out of a dog. So, where was I going with this? Oh, so
things you learned from your father, lessons learned from your father.
So my dad says like, he's like, never turn down a job. Tell him you can do it and then figure out how to fucking do it.
Yep.
And I was like, perfect. Sounds great. And that's what I've done. and people are like, no, dude. I'm like, yep. And then you go, you have to have the IQ though, to be able to pick up some like reading material and be like, all right, let me figure this out. And then you do it and you do a good job. You can continue doing it.
We had a very good discussion as we're wrapping up here today about Dakota and Jesse.
Oops.
Basically thinking they're the smartest people in the room, and that's why they're pissed off all the time.
That is not what I said at all.
That's not what I said at all either. It's not that I think I am.
It's kind of what you said.
You said, listen, I need to take an IQ test.
Yep.
To prove to myself that I'm really smart and everybody else is really dumb.
I do need to do this.
And then I won't feel so bad about them being so damn dumb all the time.
You didn't even read my reply. And he was like, has anyone taken an IQ test? Because he was thinking like this would be good content for the show.
Oh, no, I was not.
What?
No, this was me experiencing some shit that I needed like...
I thought you were saying you wanted to do this on the show.
No.
That's why I was like...
This was just a legitimate
I was like,
conversation.
Jesse, I'm kind of an idiot.
No,
I don't want to do this on the show live. I don't want everyone to know how stupid I really am.
It would turn into a true competition of worry.
Here is where this stemmed from. I'm sitting this was a post on Facebook. I'm sitting in a coffee shop working today. Okay. And I've sent you guys that. So that was, I thought
we were involved in this chain of
I sent you a picture, right? And
there was you're in a building. And there was an air conditioner going up on the roof.
There was, in that picture. But there's also, when this is all going down, I'm like, there's an old gigantic air conditioner, a new gigantic air conditioner, a fucking crane. And this young woman, walks through underneath the crane, just straight through the job site.
No hard hat.
No hard hat. Just walks straight into the building. And I'm like, why the hell is this happening? Walks in, looks at the other employee, or at the employee. I don't know if she's a worker or not, but she's like, what are they doing out there? And the other employee goes, I don't know. I'm like, how much deductive reasoning do you need to understand that there's an old air conditioner, there's a new air conditioner, and there's a fucking crane?
And it's hot in here.
What do you think they're doing?
Why is it so warm in here right now?
It's not for here, right?
It's for the people next door.
But I'm just like, what do you think they're doing? Is that not enough information to figure out what the hell's going on?
Well, that would have been a nice context clue.
Well, that was what the picture was, and then I made the post.
I don't mean that. I'm saying that if it was hot in there too, it would have sent it over the top.
Been great. Yeah.
Why is it so? It's 95 degrees.
I would have fucking left. I would have been like, I can't be here anymore. So, anyways, I'm just so sometimes when you're like sitting around places and you just watch people and then you watch conversations and you know the answers. Not because you're smart, it's just that you're not dumb.
Do you find yourself needing to interject? Because I'm
like, the damn time.
I will totally get all up in somebody else's business. So when I'm hearing somebody saying something stupid and I'm walking down the street, I'm like, no. Here's the thing.
I need to help. I believe this is not correct, and I'm trying to get better at not doing it because I don't want to be like I'm eavesdropping.
It's one of my greatest strengths and my greatest weaknesses because I meet a lot of people that way.
Yeah,
but I'm also an asshole.
Exactly. And I'm not trying to be a dick. I just don't. So people are like, well, there's a spread of false information everywhere. I'm like, yeah, because every time people like me, the Node and all the other networks that we are a part of try to correct you, you get fucking pissed. So either you want us to help you not spread the false information or you do. You need to let me know because I'm trying to correct it. Or at the very least, let's just have a conversation about it. So there was also something at work that I had where somebody just said something that was completely like, it's called like cargo culting, where like you continue to do something because somebody else did it. And like, well, yeah, we continue to pray because that's when the cargo falls from the sky or whatever, like they do some sort of ritual.
Sure.
So people, this is notorious in every job, right? Every job, people just
we do it this way because that's the way it's done.
That's been done. And you're like,
it's called institutional knowledge. Look it up.
It's not institutional. That means that institutional knowledge means that like it's knowledge that is not shared, right? But it's like, we call it tribal knowledge, but it's the same thing. It's not the same. Tribal knowledge means like there's a reason why you're doing it and that it's not shared well and not documented. Like the idea of cargo culting is that it's information that is being done that no one's ever questioning why it's being done. And then somebody like me comes in, is like, why are we, this is a separate thing that happened at work. Why are we patching a server after doing this and then adding more stuff to it and then handing it to the team? Why wouldn't we patch at the beginning or end? And someone else who also doesn't do this job, but is a part of my team goes, you don't even need to patch it because we patch the images you just built it with. I go, perfect. We just saved ourselves a shit ton of time.
Yep.
Right. And it's like that thing. But anyway, it's just, so I'm like, am I the dumb like, I have a lot of imposter syndrome at work again because I fucking lied my way to get here. So I thought I lied my way to get here.
They all lied their way in.
Everyone's lying, right? House has said it. Everybody lies. They fucking do. There's no way they don't. So I'm just like, okay, so everybody lied to get here, but no one kept reading, right? Like everybody else was just like, I made it. And I'm cool.
I'm good.
And it's not a problem till they get fired. Then they freak the hell out and then they relearn. They like, I got to go to get a job. I'm like, yeah, you should have been learning more. So that when you go get the next interview, it's a breeze. People are like, I'm super stressed during this interview. I'm like, I'm not. I tell them, look, here's what I fucking know. Here's what I want. Can you make it happen? And I've never not got a job offer. It's never not happened. Like I've got 2 job offers. I was like, after I like did my sabbatical, went to 2 jobs. Then I took 2 interviews, got 2 fucking offers. I was like, and everyone's like, it's really hard. I'm tough out here. That's because you're stupid.
Because this concludes Jesse's monologue stand-up set.
But anyways, so the whole point of this
Jesse,
is,
this is your final thoughts. Sorry.
I know it's taken forever and I apologize. The whole point is it stresses me out. Again, because I want to inject, I want to fix. I'm just like, you're spreading misinformation. And I believe these people can learn. Then this is what I'm trying to inject. I don't know if you guys listen to Lex Friedman or whatever, right?
Yes.
So you know how he's like, these people can do these things. Like I'm very much like Lex in this manner. But I know that this is my weakness and I need to stop believing. And I need to get like something to say like, no, you have the ability to understand patterns better. I need that like written to me so that I don't just like be like, well, I am better than you, or I can see patterns better than you. I need someone to say, no, you actually can. And then I'm like, oh, good to know. I'll stop bothering them. And then I don't feel like I won't be the asshole anymore. I just be like, oh, they just don't see patterns better than me.
Yeah, they just don't see it the same way.
It's a weakness
Correct.
in somebody else, but it's a strength
it's not.
in me.
I mean, it is a weakness in our society. I'm not, but they do things better than me. It's not this. It's not to say that I'm smarter. It's just like give me a frame of reference of like, again, on the bell curve where I am, so I know like, yeah, like I'm in the 90th percentile. A lot of people I run into just aren't going to get it.
Can we buy you an IQ quiz test?
No, I'll take it myself. I just got to go to a psychiatrist, and then like, that's a whole other thing.
This reminds me of 2
Don't we
things.
know one, Erica?
One of them I saw today was like, why are IT people so angry? And it was a guy said, well, I spent 9 minutes in the car today to press the on button on a server that I was told multiple times was on.
Exactly. That is another dude. And you wonder why I want to fucking kick corgis in the face.
And then we had when we returned to the office, we got new computers when we came in, and there were like they plugged everything in for us, and because we have 2 monitors hooked to a laptop, and there were these instructions on how to get everything going. And I heard a near neighbor, she called systems immediately, and they're like, "Oh, did you look at the instructions?" She's like, "I don't have time for that. Just fix it."
Yeah.
And she literally just had and they had pictures. I mean, it was like getting your computer going for dummies. It had a page by page with pictures telling you what to do. And she just called systems because she didn't have any time for that. I was like, yep. I'm like, I just shook my head. I'm like, she didn't even try.
But she has time to call and sit on hold.
And she acts like we're not going to keep track of who the hell she is. And the next time, like when she's like trying to reach us, we're like, silence.
It's a small. We have our own IT group for our agency, so they know who she is because there's 260 people that work in my office.
Right.
So yeah,
but there's a list, man. Like you're just like, don't help them. Make them suffer.
I bet they know their extension.
Yeah, you just make them suffer.
God, it makes me wonder if I'm on the IT person's list or not.
I don't know. You should ask.
I had a question today for the IT guys, and he said, "Oh, we haven't seen this before. Thanks for showing us." I was like, "Oh, thank you."
Oh, great! I'm not the one.
I'm not wasting their time. Like,
for the 13th time today. God damn it!
And it's not even wasting. It's just it's the repetitiveness of it, and like it just gets really. I don't know. I know that when you're in like a help field, it's just really annoying. I'm sure like sales guys ask the same things. Or you get you're on phone calls, right?
Oh, I like the number of times we send out letters and they call and they say, "I got a letter," and I'm like, "What's it say?"
Yeah,
and they start reading me the canned jargon, but they haven't gotten to the part where it tells them what I need because it has to tell them what I need. Like legally, I have to have that in there, and I can tell they haven't even got to that. So I'm like, "Oh yeah, I need this, this, and this." Oh, well, give me a minute. I don't have any of that ready. Read the letter. Just read the letter.
Read the letter, man.
Zach, final thoughts, man. It's Labor Day weekend. You're gonna go down to Cincinnati area
and check local listings. The weather finally is awesome.
I don't know what you're talking about. It was like 58 degrees last weekend for me, and I was wearing a coat.
Well, yeah, but you drove 1,200 miles round trip to get that weather. And meanwhile, here, it
was terrible.
I went to a car show last week in Carmel, and I ran in the morning. I looked so bad after my run that my wife's like, "You can't go by yourself," because I was like curled up in the fetal position in the bathtub under a cold stream of water, trying not to pass out. God. And then today it was like 58 degrees. I'm like, this is amazing. So. If you're in an area where the weather's gotten better and the world's not on fire, go out and enjoy it. I think there's Broad Street Cruise this weekend, so check that out.
I'm very excited. It's going to be like highs in the low 80s and the 58, 60 at night.
Yeah, mid to upper 70s and mid 50s at night, which is, I mean, like September came in crazy, like with fall. So, yeah, I'll take it.
Dakota's all in on the pumpkin spice already.
Getting back to the basics.
Is there anything in the forecast where it's going to get hotter?
There's like an eighth of a jar of salsa left. Dakota has killed it.
He just got a bag of chips off camera behind his chair, and he just keeps digging into it. It's like it reminds me of Owen. Like that's what my son does. Just burns through a bag.
He can't even talk. He's just all in on the salsa.
I'm a chip and salsa fiend, and also guac.
Same,
man. Anyway. My final thoughts are thank you for listening, and thank you, Jeremiah, for all the gifts. It's greatly appreciated.
It's my pleasure, man.
I already christened it with the salsa stain.
Well, the chips
That's the blood of the Edmund Fitzgerald people.
Sad news, I guess, is my final thoughts here, but I feel like we have to read it into the record and take a minute to recognize. One of the highlights of this show for me over the existence of the 4 years we've been on the air, I'm Ron Burgundy, was episode 44, and that was when Robin Miller joined us. Robin had cancer at the time he was on the show. It was a Zoom call. He was unable to come in person, so it was actually our very first remote Zoom episode that we ever did, and he lost his battle last week. So Robin is no longer with us, but he was awesome to join the show. He was very much a national figure in the motorsports world. He was a local legend in Indianapolis. The remembrances of him listening to folks that were very close with him have been phenomenal, and he's going to greatly be missed. He was huge in the Indianapolis sports community. He was big in media in general in Indianapolis, and I know he had a lot of great friends that have been hurting. So we were very appreciative of him joining us on the show. I think it helped us with a lot of legitimacy early on. So it's another sad time. We're up to 3 folks that have been guests on the show in 220 episodes that are no longer with us, which is a crazy thing, but that's a part of
like 1.5%.
That's a part of life. But
1% of your house.
Yeah,
flexing that high IQ over there.
It's like I'm just like, bro, like those are like COVID numbers.
Is that pattern recognition?
It's almost COVID. Like it's almost worse than COVID. It's like don't come on the boss on show.
I was going to make another Rain Man reference. I did one yesterday. My lovely wife, the lovely Sarah Potter Morrell, was boiling pasta yesterday, and I yelled out "hot water burn baby," and she's like, "What does that mean?" What is that in reference to? I'm like, God damn it. You need to watch Rain Man.
Need to watch Rain Man.
Yeah. Hot Water Burn Baby. She has no idea what the hell I'm doing. She just thinks I'm a crazy person that burst.
I've never watched that movie.
I need to watch it.
That one
I've
out
watched, I think, a short
Can we do a
documentary.
viewing party together? Because I need to have Sarah watch it too. I'll buy it on Amazon Prime or something, and we'll sit down and watch it one night.
Can we do it? Does it have to be at night? That's my thing. Can we just do it like a Sunday morning?
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, we'll do a Sunday morning Rain Man viewing, September 11th or 12th, whatever that is.
We'll order stacks.
Come to my house. We'll do it. It'll be a thing.
Cool. I have to tell my mom. But
Boss Hog family, Sunday morning. We'll go to brunch. We'll come back.
I don't want to go to brunch. I want to bring
You want to order it and bring it in?
I don't want to do
right,
stacks.
fine. We'll do
I
it.
have to tip people.
Such a cheap son of a bitch. All right.
It's not true, though. I just like to say that.
We'll see you guys next week.